So you were set to be fighting Amilcar Alves in the main event. When did you hear about the opponent change?
I heard about the opponent change about an hour, 2 hours before I got on the plane.
What day was that?
That was, 2 days ago maybe? Or a day, yeah, about 2 days ago now.
Okay. And are you someone who puts their game plan specifically around a certain opponent, or are you someone who mainly focuses on yourself and then puts the odd sprinkle in here and there?
So what I do is I focus on my weaknesses. I also make a game plan with my coaches. So with my coaches, Jaden Peterson, Stephen Wilshire, Ergus Segeta, and Ryan Grant, we got together, talked about game plan as to what we're going to do for Amilcar, especially him being a southpaw fighter. A lot of different changes from these opponents, obviously. But the advantage is that we were given time to, when we were told about it, good thing I was with one of my main coaches. We talked about it, and we went over game plan and stuff as to what we're going to do differently. So it's kind of a mix of both. It's I work on myself, but at the same time, I make sure that I always have a game plan going in there, and I follow that game plan.
Okay, so yeah, so obviously now you're fighting kickboxer Cristain Constantinov, who's making his MMA debut. What are your thoughts on that change in opponent?
I'll be straight up with you. For me, at first I was a little pissed off, just because, you focus on something, and then, changes last minute can really throw a fighter off. Not me though. All it did is just make me more determined, more hungry. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm very blessed during this COVID time to even have a fight, and then for them to find a replacement for me so quickly. So I mean, like, Brave did a great job at finding a replacement within maybe less than 24 hours. They found a replacement for me because they found out about it in the morning, and then they ended up telling me by my afternoon, and also getting me an opponent. Like, how hard is it to get somebody to sign the contract to fight me even when they have training camp? So this was good.
Have you had to adjust to the time difference changes at all for the between Romania and Canada? Have you had to factor that into preparations at all?
No, I sleep, man. I'm very good at it. I just sleep. Like, first night here, I took some time and I allowed myself to stay up a little bit later, do a little bit of a workout. Not drain myself, but get myself a little bit more tired. And so far, it's been great. And plus, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter the time. Like, I train at so many different times. When I'm home, it's like I'm ready to go at any time. So I'll sleep, get up, train. You know what I mean? Sleep, get up, train, stuff like that. So I'm used to it.
Okay, so obviously this is a really similar situation to last week's Brave show. The main event was set, somebody couldn't get into the country, and then a kickboxer came in at the last minute. I spoke to Cristain earlier on today, and he said that he's never trained grappling before. He's never really done much work on the mat. All he's done is had two or three sessions in the past few days. So is it fair to say that you'll be looking to take him to the mat straight away if he's had no experience there whatsoever?
Oh, the hardest part about entering any sort of martial art that you're not used to is the little rules and the little things that will, throw you off. There's a lot of things more that he has to worry about, more than just the grappling. The smaller gloves, there's a lot more holes in the striking with the smaller gloves if you're not careful, especially if you haven't striked with the smaller gloves before. So it's fair to say that I'll be executing my game plan that my coaches came up with, which means exposing all the holes and opportunities that we can, whether it be with the striking, the grappling, everything.
Were you able to find any tape on him? Did you manage to see much footage?
I saw one kickboxing fight on him and tried to look for some more. Not much really out there, but it's okay. I just kept watching that same tape. It was a good 3-round fight, so it gave me a good about 9 minutes of film to watch on him and see his reaction to things. And another thing that he's not used to is he's not used to fighting the 5-minute rounds. 5-minute rounds, if you've never trained for 5-minute rounds, it will drain you. Even as an athlete who trains 5-minute rounds, I mean, when you start in your camp, it's very difficult. We try and make it 3-minute rounds, and then we upgrade it to 5-minute rounds, just so your body can get used to it. It's a totally different realm with those extra 2 minutes.
Okay. Do you think it's possible for somebody to come into MMA and be successful with no grappling experience at all?
No. Yeah. I think it's a must. I think when you come into MMA and this is coming from somebody who's primarily a striker. When you come into MMA and you have to deal with a body similar weight as you, and holding them, pulling them, pushing them off, so on and so forth, and then you go to throw, your arms are tired or they're fatigued. And if you've never ever done that before, then there's a good chance that you're going to have a very hard time in a fight. So if you've never trained that before, I should say, you don't have the muscle memory or endurance to even deal with that kind of pressure in a fight.
Yeah. So like you just said, you like to strike. You're a striker. Is there any part of you that wants to test out a little bit on the feet, see how you could hang with a so-called professional kickboxer who's got an experienced background?
I'll be honest with you. It's not about testing myself. I'm past that now. For me, it's not about testing. It's about getting the job done. We came here with a mission, and that's finish fights and move on to the next one. And that's the job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking past it. I'm just saying that this is not a time to go and test myself. This is a time to go and execute what we've been working on.
So have you got a prediction for the fight and how you think it'll end?
Oh, just me all over him. First round, pressure, pressure, pressure. Hit him with some hot shit, pop, pop, pop. Go home with a pocket full of cash.
Great. So recently you signed a new contract with Brave. Why did you make that decision, and why did you see your near future in the organization?
So funny situation is when I first started with Brave, they called me up last minute and said, I got a call last minute. Would you fight for Brave? I said yes to a guy who was 8-0. The guy said no. Brave said, okay, well then you don't want to fight. Fighters want to fight. Leave. And they brought in somebody else for me last minute as well. So I ended up fighting that guy. Brave took care of me. It's not just the organization; it's the people in the organization. Like, you have to understand, like, you go somewhere where you're appreciated. You're not just a number, you're a name. That's the difference, right? I went 1-1. I had a rough go with my last fight. I had to deal with some injuries, making no excuses. But what Brave decided to do was, I signed a 3-fight contract there. They decided to give me a 5-fight contract with, I'm going to say it, more money. Who does that? Who does that? That's why I decided to sign with them, is because they don't treat you like a number. They treat you like a person. And I think the same could be said for the people that work for them. They seem to be, everyone who works for me, from the staff, all the staff, matchmakers, photographers, everybody, they're all friendly. They're all nice. They're all happy. It's a different vibe. I enjoy fighting for Brave. My plans for it is to be the light heavyweight champion. And then there's been talks of possibly going up and being the heavyweight champion too. I have big ambitions. I've been given the opportunity to do it and to fight during these times when, there's not a lot of stuff going on for a lot of people. Like, how could you not want to sign with somebody like that?
Great. So like you said, the ultimate goal then really is to capture that light heavyweight title. That's the primary aim.
Absolutely. I'm here for, that's the mission. The mission is to get that light heavyweight title. And then from there, keep working, more people. Like, I don't want to be one of those paper champions, the ones that get the belt and they just sit on it. I want to be active. I want to fight. I want to defend it. If somebody wants that belt, they got to come through me to get it. I'm actively searching out ways that I can fight more often. Like, I would love to fight this fight. I would love to get on a plane then and fly over Sweden and fight on that card too. And then if they got fights after that, I want to go fight there too. I just want to stay active.
So if you could pick up the win on Monday, how far off do you think that title shot might be?
I'm going to let them make that decision. But with you openly, I will say I'll let them make that decision. But trust me, behind closed doors, I'm going to be pushing hard for it. I'm going to be pushing hard for title fights. I'm going to be pushing hard for more activity, stuff like that. And I mean, like, if you look at my so far since I've been with Brave, I've been on Brave 30, Brave 33, and Brave 36. So it's just like every 3 shows you see me pop up. And that's kind of like how I want to keep it, as often as possible. Just keep seeing me. Just keep getting in there. Keep fighting.
That's great. Thanks very much for joining me, Todd, and I wish you all the best on Monday.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.